Well, here we are at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. Now, regular viewers may recall the last time I was in Las Vegas, I stayed at the Imperial Palace. Very convenient for the show I was attending at the time, but a bit on the cramped side. Cramped is not something you could accuse these rooms of being, but there are a few interesting, odd, subtle faults that we'll get onto. First of all, notice we've got this big corridor to wander around. Here's the enormously large mirror, unpleasant shot of me, won't think about that. And then we come into what's a very decent sized bedroom, two big beds there, but we start noticing a few odd things. My first point of complaint, yes, we have an ironing board, in fact the cleaner hasn't bothered to put it away, but this ironing board is at its maximum height, which to be honest, not quite as high as I would like something to be when I'm actually doing ironing. It doesn't help that the iron itself is a really bodgy design, so that sucks a bit. Second complaint, like all hotels, not quite enough lighting in this room. What's annoying about all these lights is that the only light switch is one of those stupid little fiddly ones inside the thing. You would think in a hotel that prides itself on being flash, they could actually have some decent light switches on them. But there you go. Now we've got two fairly generous sized wardrobes with the compulsory built-in lights, which I appreciate all the more after staying at the Imperial Palace where there was no lighting over the wardrobe at all. As usual, we have a built-in safe, but as usual the safe's not actually big enough to put a laptop in, so from my point of view it's almost entirely useless, which is why in fact I haven't used it. On the other hand, points for having coat hangers that you can actually remove and they don't pretend you're going to try and steal. We step into the bathroom, a fairly extravagant affair with its own double doors. We've got a decent sized enough spa bath here, separate shower, which I always admire, decent size fitting on that. None of the signs telling you not to preserve water, which is odd. There's something you don't get terribly often, a television in the bathroom, a decent sized little Philips screen there, and believe me, not the biggest television we've got in here. All the usual stuff. We've got separate toilet enclosed in here. My one complaint about the toilet is that the way the door's weighted, the second you step through it, it slams shut. Now I know privacy is important in the toilet, but to be honest, I'd like to have a bit more control over it than that. Stepping out into the room itself, we've got two very decent sized beds here. We have a proper alarm clock with a display you can read any time of night. More of the annoying light fixtures, so that's something. Over here we have what is really one of the largest TV screens I've ever seen in a room. Unfortunately the remote didn't work when I first got here, so I had to ring up and get a new one, but to be fair they brought it to me very promptly. Down here we have one of those annoying computerised mini bars. Of course we're in Vegas, so no coffee making facilities. You have to go downstairs and find one of the mini Starbucks in the establishment to get anything else done. Here we have our desk. Now we have both wired and wireless internet. It's not too expensive at $13 a day, but I have to say it's a bit of a rort because it takes a long time to work sometimes, and I suspect that they've overcharged me for it, so there could be a bit of a fight going on there tomorrow. The power points aren't in the best place. I've got my plug down there. There's one built into the wireless unit, but you can't plug more than one thing in, so that wasn't much use. Now, it's always a bit of a gamble at the Mandalay Bay what your view is, but I've done pretty well. If you look out here through the thing, you can see we've got the view up the strip. You can just see the Luxor with the Sphinx next door. Over there you can see the MGM Grand. If we were to swing around this way, you'd actually end up seeing the airport. So, on the whole, I'm very pleased with this hotel room, really. The things that are niggles, they're definitely there, but I'm not paying the bill, so I can't complain. The only other thing I can complain about is this really weird effect that every time I get in the lift, if I get in the lift on my own, it always stops on level 8, even though there's no one who wants to get in there, and even though I haven't pressed the button. I'm not sure what that's about, but overall, the Mandalay Bay is going to get a minorly cautious thumbs up from me.